a breakout Wednesday for June 10 to 20. It's about 5 p.m. Sydney time. The markets have obviously closed. Now here's a chart of the NASDAQ. It's back at all-time highs after this V-shaped rallies from the March lows. It's a V-shaped rally which I didn't think would happen, and it's obviously once a reminder that individual opinions on the direction of the overall market, it doesn't really mean anything. The chart of the All Ords, it's not at all-time highs obviously, but it's headed back up to test the highs. So certainly had a good move the last few weeks. First of all, remember this is never financial advice. This is just simply a video blog on how one trader sees the market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own financial and trading decisions. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to rattle through some open trades super quickly because there's just a bunch of them that I've talked about the last few weeks, and I just want to rush through it and we'll go from there. But just general talk. The market at the moment, it's pretty euphoric, and there's really some just crazy trades happening. Even my one loser from last week, E25, turned around and gave me a winner. So it's just hard to lose at the moment, and that's not normal. And I've been trimming back a little bit. Yesterday when we had after the long weekend, when we had a gap up, I trimmed a lot of my positions down. I didn't bail out altogether. I just took some profits, and I've just learned over the years that when it just seems like you are just printing money, that you need to maybe take a little bit off the table before you get punched in the head. All right, so but who knows? In the late 90s, I wasn't trading, but it was euphoric for years. Okay, 2 years that just pretty much went up. The crypto boom in 2017. I mean, the market pretty much went vertical for 10 months. The weed boom, the gold boom. I mean, booms can go on for way longer than anyone thinks. So I'm certainly not going to go to cash. I'm going to keep trading, going to keep open positions and all that sort of stuff. But when I'm having big winning days, I'm definitely taking some profits and banking them. Now, just moving on, the market just is shrugging off any bad news. There's riots around the world at the moment, obviously. There's the coronavirus, there's unemployment levels at all-time highs. It's, but the market doesn't care. It's just going up and up and up, and the economy is separate to the stock market, and it's literally the technical traders who have what it takes to just sit on their hands, like I discussed last week, seem to be doing pretty well right now. Once again, money is not flowing into these kind of old darlings of the stock market like CSL and ResMed. Okay, they're flowing into Fortescue, they're flowing into a lot of mining companies, tech companies, Afterpay's back at all-time highs, and as long as you can read where the money's flowing and not flowing, then you should be doing pretty well. Okay, some of the huge stocks, Amazon all-time highs, Apple back at all-time highs, and Microsoft as well at all-time highs. So certainly it's pretty obvious where the money, where the leaders are, and that's what I'm concentrating on. Now, quickly running through, just super quickly, some of these open trades. ABMD stopped out last night. I was using the 10 exponential moving average, but this thing just went vertical. I had a lot of paper profit there, so I put a stop below each bar as it's trailing up, and I got stopped out here on a break below that bar. CIM, okay, it's going well. I'm still long, although I did trim about 50% of my position when it gapped up here on this day on the 9th of June. It gapped up a lot, 5 or 6% or something, and I just wanted to take a little bit off. But I'm still long that stock with the other bit. MIN started really well. Happy with this trade. I've taken about a third to maybe 40% of that position off it when it hit my first profit target at this line here. I'm letting the rest of it run. I think it maybe potentially can have a lot left in it. So MIN sitting on my hands and sitting tight. GSS, I took half off when it gapped up here, and I'm sitting on the other half. E25 was my losing trade from last week that then just turned around and stormed up, and I bailed out here for a win. ZNO, okay, I've already, last week I discussed them out of half, and I'm sitting on the other half. Tesla was one of my big successes of the last week, gapped up. I've taken half off up here at this profit target up here, which was about 944, something like that, just below the all-time highs. And I'm sitting on the rest of this. I'm going to sit tight. Everything in Tesla, if you look at it, bigger picture, is just screaming a big move. And so that my second lot on Tesla, I am not going to sell that. I'm using a good break-even stop loss all the way back down here. If it goes back down and hits it, so be it. But I'm going to give that thing a chance to go up to 2,000 or whatever. Okay. 88, quick day trade, nice type pattern broke out, and I mentioned last week it was just a super short-term scalping opportunity. So 88 in and out. CM8 I'm in, not the best volume and breakout in the world, but I'm in it, and we'll see what happens. And so anyway, that is a new trade that's currently sitting around break even. MME, I'm still in it. Broke out here, got whipped in, thought it was going to be a loser. Stopped below the day of the breakout, never got stopped out. This is just such a forgiving market right now, and once again, it's not normal. I think most people who are just putting themselves into trades are probably doing well. If you're not, maybe have a reassessment of what the hell you're doing. You know, IIVI, I chatted about last week. It broke up. I'm out of this thing. It kind of started folding. I've taken a small win on it and moved on. Moving on, Microsoft, I'm long, broke out of this awesome looking base here, so I'm still long a whole lot on that. McDonald's, I traded, and as I discussed last week, I'm long, I've taken half off on this big gap up and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is just not a normal market. Money and winning trade should not be coming this easy. So I've been taking a lot of profits lately and trimming my positions down, okay? In terms of new setups, to be honest with you, I'm not going to take that many new trades over the next week. The market's extended. I'm going to be super selective. I'm already in PYC from down here, from here and here. I've traded this thing a few times, and but I've got some of my lots still running on it. It's setting up again. Will I add more? I'm undecided, but this thing, the whole structure of this chart and this stock is pointing to this is a stage 1 base that's broken out and consolidating, and I'm bullish on PYC. Okay, I've got an open position on it, and I'm going to look to maybe just add half of a position back on, just a small bit back on. But PYC, certainly I'm bullish, and I'm staying long on that. API, actually I entered this last night, so it's too late, I apologize. ASPU. Okay, I'm just waiting this base on the NASDAQ, and this needs to base for another week, but it's at all-time highs and basing, so I'm watching that super tightly, closely, I meant to say. ZIP, Z1P now, I'm not going to swing this high or position trade this or anything, but I'm looking at this gap up, I'm looking at this resistance, and I don't day trade too much these days. I'm trying to concentrate on other things rather than too much day trading. But I do sometimes look at these stocks that are sitting at all-time highs, that are high momentum things, and I don't want this to gap up in the morning, but if it just opens just below the resistance line, I'll have a look at market depth and the order book, and I know I might just quickly play that breakout level and in and out super quick for a day trade. Okay, they're the day trades I'm concentrating on these days, because I can identify them from the daily chart the night before, and it doesn't take up too much time in my day. Usually they're early morning breakouts, and they can be done within 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, so definitely that's not for everyone. It's much safer just to stick to swing trading, most likely. And there are a bunch of other stocks setting up. Let's have a look at RGL. That's said, unfortunately it broke out today. So I've definitely got a position on this. I haven't actually checked my account to see if I've been filled, but that is just such a bloody nice setup, and I wish I put this talk out before market opened this morning, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And there are just so many other setups right now. Baba setting up, for a quick, that would be a quick trade for me. Nike's back new all-time highs. Okay, and it goes on. Another stock I'm keen on is NVDA. We have Bitcoin. I don't have a Bitcoin chart handy this very second, but Bitcoin is forming a pretty nice consolidation. I'll just find a chart one sec. Okay, here's a chart of Bitcoin. This is just some free charting platform. I hate this platform. It's so cumbersome and annoying to use, but it just gives me the odd free Bitcoin chart when I need stuff like that. This is a daily chart. It's basing here. It's pretty obvious setup, and a lot of people listening to this probably have no idea about Bitcoin, and so be it. But I trade it by its GBTC. It's a code of a stock that trades over the market, I think, off the over the counter, so I meant to say, and it's an ETF or some fund that tracks Bitcoin, and so. But it's setting up, and I look at that. I keep an eye on the crypto charts, and then I look at NVDA. And NVDA obviously is a a chip company mainly, but when Bitcoin booms, so does NVDA, and they tend to follow each other a bit, and it's had pretty good earnings, gapped up, base in here, and so a swing higher is I think most likely on the cards for NVDA, and so that's why I'm looking to swing higher. But other than that, I'm pretty loaded up on positions right now. The market's overextended. I'm just going to let the profits build, and the one chart, the one scan I do every single day still, even if I'm 100% invested, it's just this Davis scan, and I just quickly run through it. Okay, it's not that much work, and it just finds the majority of these setups. I'm just finding on this. I do it super quick like that, and I just run through it. Okay, and it finds so many setups. Okay, obviously the breakout scans I'm doing, the volume scans I'm still doing all my regulars, but when I'm pushed for time, I'll just go to that. Or when I'm like 95% invested and I really only want maybe the odd sweet setup. This is not a good setup, by the way, that one. And I need to be selective. And I'll just do that Davis scan and see what comes up. If something great comes up, awesome. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And the other thing, there's certainly a lot of biotech stocks which are taking a break. Bull markets do that. They correct via sector rotation. They don't really always have to have, if you flick back to the markets, they don't always have to have a big overall industry kind of pullback. Sometimes one sector will just go sideways and another sector will just start taking off, and that is kind of how sometimes corrections will happen within big bull markets. I'm being pretty careful right now. There's a lot of dumb money out there. There's a lot of people taking their 10K super payments and their JobKeeper payments and whacking it in CFD accounts of and doing dumb things because they have no idea what they're doing. So if you're one of those people, stop doing it. And but if you're not, let the good times roll. Catch you next week. Stay safe. Bye bye.